in a violent manner or anything destructive when we cross paths. Anything. We had some words. I said what I said. He said what he said. I've been stopped even engaging with that. So I don't even, you know what I mean? I don't even have no real energy to go back and forth with that because it is what it is. He got a beautiful family, you know. He doing what he doing, and I'm definitely doing what I'm doing. I ain't got no energy for that. I heard he put up the post, and I heard he was kind of like dissing me at the same time.
Was he?
Yeah, like calling me Chano. Like,
okay. So hold on a second. I can't tell what you guys were talking about.
I'm talking about it was like whatever the when he put the post up and whatever he wrote.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm talking about.
All right. Let me just go to the video. And let's say this.
I never had a problem with Akademiks.
Right.
Right?
Because there was a video of him taking a shot with you.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
I saw Akademiks at the Young Boy concert.
Mm-hmm.
And he like, oh, man, what up? What you doing here? He was very surprised. And I guess he was surprised because he got in his mind that there's a difference between an older artist and young artists, that there's this division. And the truth of the matter is I'm with my young boys and they're younger than him. And I remember, he probably don't remember this, but because he was a little tipsy, but I said to him, yo, Ak, you know, it's no difference between young niggas and old niggas. One nigga got more memory and more experience, but you know, I don't like to divide that. You know what I'm saying? Especially the fact that he was just so surprised. I was like, we fuck with young boy, we fuck.
And I want to let this play because this is important, but I want to respond as well. And even though I really have no desire to ever speak to Mainos again or really have a back and forth with him again, I do want to correct a few things for the record. What Mainos is explaining is not actually true. Or well, the details happen to be true, but his interpretation is coming from a place that is the same reason why they lashed on me so vehemently about me saying one thing: senior citizens. That was the only thing that applied to all of them. The other thing I said was the headband. I've never said that, oh, because you're older. Yo, me and Birdman, who's 60, is at the concert every night. It's not because of your age, son. It's not because of your age. That's you see, these guys are age conscious. They're very age conscious. I'm surprised to see y'all at the NBA Youngboy show because I'm surprised to see any rapper there. I don't see niggas support NBA Youngboy. Y'all see me post about him, talk about him. I champion him to the highest. I've never seen, not that I pay attention too much to what y'all do, but I've never seen, and especially in New York, I don't see New York like fuck with Youngboy like that. That's the thing. It's not about being if it was, let me see. I don't know. If it was maybe another younger artist, yeah, of course I would expect to see out there. Youngboy is an antisocial guy. He's an antisocial guy. When you're saying, oh, we fuck with Youngboy, I went to those shows for Youngboy and I kept looking at people to say, I've never seen you support this motherfucker, ever. That's what I was there for. And by the way, when me and Youngboy, like, you know, we were in the back one time and he said to me, he's telling me about all the people who are now reaching out. And I said to him, I said, man, ain't this convenient? I remember when you called me in jail, now one of these motherfuckers, and I'm not talking about Mainos, obviously. I'm just saying so Mainos is age conscious. He's age. I wasn't saying you're too old to be at a Youngboy show. Bro, I brought Vlad to a Youngboy show. Bro, most of the people at the Youngboy show are younger than me. It's not about age. See, Mainos and Jim Jones and those senior citizens, they're so insecure about their age. They're insecure. He thinks that when I say, damn, you're here, I'm saying, oh, you fuck with Youngboy? That's what I'm saying it for. Because It's always been the cool club that didn't fuck with him. You know why I went to YoungBoy Tour 12 dates? Because there was pretty much no rappers that was going to come dick ride. Or that's what I thought till Miami happened and every rapper was there. I was like, what the hell? Y'all love a YoungBoy now? So I would be surprised who popped up. The notable, like, I could have guessed who was going to pop up in what city because I know he don't fuck with nobody. So when I seen Mainos, I said, wait, y'all fuck with YoungBoy? I didn't know. Mainos is taking that to mean I'm trying to say he's too old. And yes, it is factual. He said to me, yo, there's no difference between the older and younger. And by the way, when he said that to me there, I didn't know why he said it to me because I guess he took it in the moment like I was saying, what the hell are you doing here? Again, Mainos, your own mentality about your age being 49 is what's getting to you. You're about to be 50. I get it. But this is how I realized why I got so much under your skin that you went in the car like 3 times to do roast and whatever. It's the senior citizens thing. Mainos, you know eventually I plan to be 50, right? You know I'm still going to comment on hip-hop. And you know I'm going to still comment on 20-year-olds or 30-year-olds making music, right? So it would be highly hypocritical if I'm like, yo, you should just go away and die. That's not exactly what happened. I didn't think you fuck with the guy. I didn't think nobody fuck with him. The reason why YoungBoy's team loved me like it's 4K Trey Act, I basically was at the show doing whatever I wanted all the time. Nigga, they were making me a tour pass because they know Act been rocking with us for so long. When everybody turned their back on top, Act loved us. That's our guy. They know it's true. So I wasn't shaming you because your age, because you were there. I just didn't think you've ever, because I watch how people publicly support other rappers. I've never seen a lot of people, and I'm not just specifically talking to you, support YoungBoy. So already with Mainos explaining it, I'm now understanding that the positive interaction I thought I had with him was an interaction that he probably took home and said, man, they think I'm old out here. Because he did say to me, he said, yo, bro, there's no difference with the age, whatever. And I've always said, bro, Vlad interviews young rappers all the time. I don't tell Vlad he's too old for it. Nigga, I plan to be 70 on the mic. What are you talking about? That's not the problem. The problem comes that you guys get in your feelings when people point out your age and how it appears you're trying to look or act or be in the same mindset of a 20-year-old. You're 50, but you're not giving OG vibes. You're not giving the I'm trying to give game. You're giving the I'm still tough vibes. You guys are mentally dealing with that. I can't help you with that. Mainos, you need therapy. Aging is a beautiful thing. And yes, niggas gonna have jokes. They got jokes about me with everything. Senior citizens, this is why y'all crashing out? So he's saying that I saw him at the show, and because I did, I said, damn, you here? He's thinking I'm saying in my mind, you're too old to be here. This is all making sense.
Because he was a little tipsy, but I said to him, yo, Act, you know, it's no difference between young niggas and old niggas. One nigga got more memory and more experience, but, you know.
Here's the thing, too. I think these guys also think that I think I'm the young nigga. I don't. Bro, I've been in this shit for 15 years.
I don't like to divide that. You know what I'm saying?
Now, because I seen a tweet about this before I ever watched a video. They said Akademiks is one of the main proponents of pushing the age divide in hip hop. That could be further from the truth. It could be no more further from the truth. Like, come on. I always thought it was about being a mentality, right? I would love to hear how people feel like I've pushed an age divide. If anything, and this is not specific to Mainos, I was the one. It's not that I was anti-older rappers. I was the one who gave the biggest platforms to most of the younger rappers because that was my niche. That was what I listened to. I listened to Youngboy. I listened to these guys. I'm not just like, this is what my musical taste and palette is like. It's not that I'm anti-old rappers or older rappers because I listen to Fab as well. But I fuck with these guys. Back when Uzi and them was getting all type of flack from Hot 97, you know where Uzi had a safe space? My audience. Where Chief Keef had a safe space? My audience. Now, that's another thing that I think mentally is Maino. And I've heard this before where people feel like I'm anti something just because no, my taste in music is Youngboy. Yeah, like I don't listen. If I want some killer music, I'm not listening to Maino. I'm not anti tough niggas. Or I'm not anti like older rappers. I'm just into NBA Youngboy's music. I'm sorry. So what he's saying, and maybe Chad, y'all could tell me, do I spew, hey, I hate old rappers and only like young rappers, or I give off the energy like, no, this is this type of shit I fuck with, but I know I have to be well-researched and have enough knowledge to speak about a Fabulous or speak about a LL Cool J or speak about even a Rakim.
Especially the fact that he was just so surprised. I was like, we fuck with Youngboy. We fuck with the culture. Like, we like the music. You understand? Like, it's no...
And this is where Maino's being disingenuous. Maino. When I see you see, I'm not used to seeing people just show up to a show that don't know a song. So ask Maino, ask everybody who ever seen me at a concert. I know every word. Especially YB show. I'm singing my heart out. You ever see me at a Drake show? I'm singing my heart out. Maino was there. He didn't know a word. Not from what I've seen. And I've never seen him publicly support Youngboy. So, yeah, I'm a little bit surprised. Wait, oh, you a fan too? Oh, word. Well, I never seen, this guy's the most blackball guy we've seen in hip-hop in a while. That's why I'm surprised, not because your age. There's a lot of people that's in the NBA, like, you know, I'll just say organization, that's older too, because they have Cash Money ties. There's a lot of Louisiana dudes. Is Fee my age? I think Fee's old. No, Fee's older than me. Because Fee goes back with Birdman. Fee came up under that Cash Money shit. So I'm watching Maino now show how insecure he is about his age.
I'm a disgruntled old nigga. Every nigga that got a little age on him is not disgruntled. Okay? Like, I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
You understand?
I'm definitely not that guy.
I've never been.
Now, I never accused him of being a disgruntled old guy. And if that was inferred by anything I said, was after I seen that we had a positive interaction on my behalf. We took shots. You sat there and watched me rap like 30 Youngboy songs word for word. And clearly you were back there thinking about, like, did this nigga act just try to play me like I'm old? No, I just didn't know that. First of all, I'm going to be honest with you, because I went to the VIP lounge in New York. I even told him, I'm like, yo, I don't think New York niggas don't really fuck with niggas like that. I don't see nobody in New York really bump Youngboy like that. When I go like down south a little bit, yo, it's all they bump, you know? And I'll change that because I ain't gonna lie, in Jersey, that was one of the most lit concerts. But I was there also to see how much New York bumps YB. Then the industry guys that showed up, I wanted to know, oh, y'all do fuck with him? But Maino was thinking I was talking about his age. Okay.
You can't find no footage, no piece of footage where I ever spoke down on no young artist. Ever. Not from the South, not from New York, not nowhere, right? So we was cooling and, you know, he had a bottle and, you know, he poured me a drink and I did a shot and then...
Okay, he told the truth. That's... Now, one thing I don't like with even this happening is Maino's gonna lie to y'all. and be like, oh, yeah, I didn't hear about allegations. I didn't hear about that. Because it's convenient for a story now. And when I say anything about him being fake, that's fake. Because Maino has access to all the information. I've been a known figure online for a long time. And Maino sat there and he admits he's drinking out my bottle and everything is cool until he goes home, thinks about my comment, and has now rephrased it to say I'm calling him old and he probably feels away. I don't know he feels away. I never called him old. I just said, oh shit, you here? It's people say to me all the time, yo, Ak, you here? Oh shit, Ak, you pulled up? Yes, people think I don't come outside. Whatever. It's not that serious. This guy went home and probably was like, when he was taking like his his daily nutrient pills or whatever, the ones you got to open Monday, Tuesday. When he was doing that or whatever, he's taking like, his arthritis medication. He was like, damn, this nigga Ak. When he was like dyeing his gray hair, he was like, man, this nigga Ak think I'm old. Like, no, I don't. Like, bro, we're all gonna get there. Relax. This guy was in his feelings over a innocuous comment. Bro, oh shit, you here? It's the most hated rapper. I know niggas that want to show up to the concert, but they don't want to act like they fake. This is why, which one of them rappers said, yo, no, it was DJ Bands, Dirk's DJ. He said, man, I seen some of y'all rappers who say I would never fuck with bro. Now I'm seeing y'all at the concert shaking y'all ass like y'all doing all type of shit. Y'all niggas hoes. Yeah, so every time I show up at a concert, I remember a handful of niggas who actually fuck with Youngboy. So when I show up, I don't expect to see the niggas who I never seen support him. That's all it was. And not saying that Maino was a hater. Maybe he did support him. I don't know. But that's what I was talking about. And Maino over here going through a geriatric midlife crisis. He's thinking I'm calling him old.
Later on, I had a bottle. He came around and got a shot for him and his faction. And that was that. He did say to me, yo, I was wondering, I wasn't sure if we had to have a conversation, but if I said, yo, homie, listen, if we needed to have a conversation, it wouldn't have been no conversation. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if that was.
And again, this is factual. I said to him, because I'm making small talk. I said, yeah, I didn't expect to see Maino out here. I'm like, I said when I seen you, I was thinking, damn, did I ever say? Because I do this a lot, nigga. I broadcast so much. Sometimes I gotta remind myself, like, did I ever? Because sometimes niggas will hold small things. Like I broadcast a lot, and I make jokes. They might have seen one clip and they hold one thing. Yo, Axe said this. Oh, all right. Yeah, he said it's a year and a half. I see him. So I told him, I said, yo, I was thinking, I'm like, did I ever say nothing about you that'll make you feel no type of way? I definitely did say that because Maino does have a reputation. So I did say that. So he's being factual with that. So honestly, he's being factual with everything so far. The only thing I'm gonna keep pointing out, he mistook, yo, I can't believe you're here. He thinks I'm talking about his age. And that's something he needs to deal with God. Bro, go get your colon checked up on. That's fine. When we all get there, that's a blessing to be, bro. You're a dude who came from the streets. You're 50. It's cool. If I was gonna give a real critique, I would be like, yo, I don't think you and Jim Jones are really good representation for the real YNs, the 18-year-olds who are crash out, because y'all seem to also exude that energy being 50, which signifies to them that they could continue living life for 30 years or 40 years past where they're at, constantly trying to crash out. I don't see y'all giving advice as big homies. I see y'all reminiscing back on like y'all glory days in the streets. I don't see y'all talking about the bad side of things. I don't see y'all saying, hey, this shit. I haven't seen that from y'all. Y'all don't come across like OGs. Y'all come across as, yo, we're on the front line with them. We'll still get busy. So if I was going to give a criticism, that would be my criticism. And that wasn't even my criticism because we're at a fucking concert. I'm just saying, damn, I I didn't think you fuck with young boy. It's like if I went to Atlanta, obviously I would know if it would be going. But if I went to Atlanta and I go to a young boy concert in Atlanta and 21 Savage is there, I'm like, yo, nigga, you here? Not that he would be there or whatever, but like that's how I'm looking at things. Maino is in a different reality about his age. And I told y'all, Chad, this age thing is going to fuck with these guys because they haven't fully accepted it. And it's because, go back to their history. Maino and Jim Jones were calling themselves the lobby boys. Not the men, lobby boys. The 50-year-old boys. They were trying to still portray this act of we're gangsters and outside and tough at 50. So you could see why when people, and I'll give you another joke, chat. And this is some real shit. I went to the Barclays and one of these like Mac Ball of Bloods pulled up on me. I give you the full backstory behind it. Remember this video? Jim Jones. No, not Jim Jones. It was Nicki Minaj boyfriend. What's his name? No, Big Zoo. Offset. Let's just put Offset. There was this video where, you know, remember when everything happened and Big Zoo and his homies were outside? They were outside. Yeah. Is it this?
Nigga, all the way up.
Yeah, we ain't
play two.
We cut you off,
man.
Okay. There's another video there outside a hotel. I think this might be it.
What's happening? What y'all niggas talking about?
Yeah.
This might be the guy right here. Low key. This guy right here. Honestly, this might be the guy right here. Now, and I remember I commented, I said, yo, this guy has a gray beard. Like, maybe he's a little bit too old for this, right? You know, I seen that guy at the Barclays. I didn't know who he was. But he came over to me and he said, yo, Ak. He said, you remember you talked about me, right? And I'm looking at him because I talk about a lot of people. And I'm like, not too familiar. And he's like, yo, he's like, I'm the nigga from, now I want to show you who he is. I want to get a close-up of it. Could I get a close-up? It wasn't this guy. It was, where is it at? Yeah, it's him, though. And I remember, like, because I remember when I did the video on it or I streamed about it, I was just like, man, this guy has a gray beard. Like, bro, it might be a little bit too old for this. He sees me. And you know, he approached me. You know the first thing he said to me? So you know who I am, right? I said, I don't really jog my memory. But he's like, yo, I don't look old right now, right? And I said, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, you did a video about me. And I said, what video? And then he reminds me of this video. He says, dog, he said, yo, just let you know, I might be old, but I'm still get active out here. And I realized I cracked mad jokes in that video. All the jokes I cracked in the video, none of it bothered him. The only thing that bothered him is that I called him old. Honestly. And I even told him, I said, bro, like, it's not that big of a deal. We're all going to get old one day. I'm like, yo, it's all good, bro. Dapped him up, you know. Took a picture in the video or whatever. It's a cool dude. Like, there was nothing, like, crazy. It was a cool dude. But I did think about it. I said, yo, from everything I said, me making a joke about him being old fucked with him. That's interesting. So he literally, like, I remember, like, I was joking all type of shit. But the joke about his age is what he wanted to address when he saw me. Yo, I don't look old now, do I? And I'm like, yeah, I said geriatric goon. Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah. And that's when I realized, I said, oh, it is a soft spot among certain dudes from that lifestyle, especially if maybe they still are connected to it when they're considered old, when they're called old. It fucks with them. It fucks with their mentality. I'm taking the situation to relate it to Maino. Maino's seeming like, you know, again, I thought it was a positive interaction. He's taking it, yo, you call me old by asking me what am I doing at an NBA Youngboy show.
Of his children arriving.
My bad. That's interesting. We'll keep it going.
was the case, but it's not. I'm basically trying to present to him like, whatever you think of me, it ain't that, right? Miss me with that. It's not this extra savage, you understand? So after that.
Now, Maino, again, I'm here to also respond to you, even though, again, I've said I don't do the back and forth, but I wanted to address because you're not going to say I'm pushing an age, like a beef between older and newer rappers. No, that's not the case. So what did he say? He said, let me go back and just missed it. He said what?
Miss me with that. It's not this extra savage, you understand?
Okay, Maino, you're documented on video flashing a gun when you seen someone who you had an online disagreement with. Again, I'm only speaking facts. I like how you guys, not because you put on some fake shades or whatever, and like you got like, what is that? I know that ain't mink. That is like rabbit fur. Like whatever you got on right now, brother. I get it. You're trying to rebrand yourself in the gossip lane because you're like the sidekick on Angela Yee's show, and now you're trying to do a podcast where you could get into the tea. I get it, my guy. There's no problem with it. I told you, I welcome you into a lane that I've helped put up the stones for. But you can't erase your past. What people know of you is you doing Vlad TV interviews explaining why and how you slapped Young Berg or whoever it was, and how you put hands on this. And people remember those DVDs when you were on the corner beefing with Maino, beef, Bunky. Like, we remember that. You can't erase these things, right? These are videos that you used to like putting up. You gone on pot, why you slapped this, why you did this, why you beef with this. This is what the image that you were putting out for years. This is your image. So when you get that reputation, you lived in New York with that reputation. It was one of the things that probably made that when you went in certain rooms, you got the respect you got. Not because you're coming to the gossip lane where, honestly, that's frowned upon. The guy who you might not want to do business with, like Jim Jones comes across like that. You know why I say Jim Jones is not going to last too long? And remember, I told you, I believe Jim Jones came to do audition for Everyday Struggle when Joe left at first. The guy who is so like, he's just so tough, or he just want to get on some, like, you can't even have a business conversation. You can't have a business. Whack 100 used to come across like that too. Where just having a business conversation with him, he's just trying to let you know he'll do something. That's your reputation. I get it. You're trying to change it, but that happens over time. So when I did see you, I said, hey, well, I still look at you off of your reputation. I do. So do many other people. You're going to have to work a little bit harder to probably show that, hey, that's not me. It's the same thing with 50. People used to be scared of 50 Cent based on what they heard about him through his music and that he got shot 9 times. Especially white people. It's a reason why he allowed some of these outlets to call him 50. And he stopped wearing the bulletproof vest. Because somebody wearing a bulletproof vest in an area that you're at, you're like, wait, hold on. He has the vest on. I don't. Is he expecting a shooting? He had to soften out the image. You didn't see 50 Cent go on, what is it, Good Morning America with a bulletproof vest. He went on there in a blue suit. You know why? Because that image of very scary, he's worked years on to say, no, I'm a businessman. I'm a film director. Respectfully, Maino, you started a podcast 4 weeks ago, and 6 months ago, you were still calling yourself a lobby boy. You were still talking about how gangster. Like you and Jim Jones were living in this gangsterism. Yes, the idea about you don't change overnight. It takes a while for a rebrand.
So after that, he the next day, I guess he ran into Jim. They had they
Oh, that was the day before.
Yeah,
I was right there when he ran into Jim.
I ran into him in Brooklyn.
Okay,
yeah,
we were in
concert
Jersey
in Jersey.
next day. Yeah, right.
Okay.
I was on tour.
So they had their interaction. Cool, whatever. Then I find footage on the internet of him.
Fabulous being like 49 with the headband. Like, yo, why is the nigga wearing, yo, you know the headband is for sweat. Like, yo, Fab is on some, yo, this is another thing too, Chad. You know these are jokes, right? These are jokes. But I get it. They could take the joke anywhere they want. Headband is for sweat, Fab. Fab, the headband is for you sweating. You're sitting down podcasting, my nigga.
And everybody's saying, "Oh, man, you know, all he talked about was Fab headband." That's not what he said. It wasn't about Fab headband. It was about the fact that you basically was saying you said we was having a midlife crisis. You was making so much reference about what we wearing, about what we talking about.
Once again, it's rearing its ugly head. Maino is uncomfortable with conversations that might be about his age, and the fragility in his ego is making it very apparent, and it's rearing its ugly head because he's letting you know. And I'm glad he's letting us know. It's not that I spoke about Fab's headband, because yes, that's why I liked Fab's comeback. Fab's comeback was dope to me, right? He rapped and Fab said, yo, how could a lame's telling me about style? My bitch became a stylist because of me. Yo, that's fire. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm not one of the best dressed people, you know, but of course I'm allowed to make jokes of anything, and just like y'all allowed to make jokes to me. But Maino's point of contention was this building. He was building like this really uncomfortability with the fact that he probably thought I upstaged him in person and called him old. Like, why does old nigga at the concert? It's like saying, yo, damn dog, you 50, why you in the club? That's not what happened, but that's how his mind is looking at it. So when he sees this clip online, he's continuing that mental trajectory. He's like, yo, so Ak is now talking about us like we washed up. Like we still ain't those guys. And that's why he unleashed, you know, he started off the next show by saying, hey, yo, Akademiks, check this out.
You had all these, this is after you seen me, and then you had all these things to say about what we got going on. Mind you, now remember what I told you. We wasn't making our podcast speaking about niggas. Okay? So here this man is being very critical about what we got going on and what we saying and what we wearing. Okay? And then this age thing, right? This division of young nigga and old nigga. And then
that he completely fabricated. But I definitely made jokes about I made jokes about their age after realizing that maybe the senior citizen thing was a common trend, right? And it was just off dress styles, right?
Then it's like, oh, these old niggas trying to dress like young niggas, and it's a topic that I think we really could have had a conversation on, because I really could have schooled them on some of that. So what I
see, this is another thing that I think Maino got incorrect. Maino, I didn't say these things out of ignorance. Like, I know niggas used to wear headbands and style. Like, I know all this stuff. I was making harmless jokes about how if you guys, and Maino, I want you just to listen to this point. And this is not, don't get offended because of the age thing again. This was a point I was making. You guys are older rappers. It's not because you're older rappers. It's okay to be old. Joe Budden's an older rapper too. Y'all are older rappers and older gentlemen, period. From what I had seen of you guys are still trying to appeal to YNs. Y'all not trying to appeal to really y'all demographic. Y'all seem to be wanting to talk to the guy on the block. That tends to be a younger person. So that's when I went in the mental, I'm bringing you mentally where I was at. So then I said, all right, well, if you're trying to appeal to kids, there's nothing wrong with it. And pause on that, by the way. Like, you know, if you're trying to appeal to YNs, let's just say that. If you're trying to appeal to YNs, fine. But then you got to also think about dressing. Yo, I don't know if the YNs is wearing the headbands. That was like early 2000s. That's nostalgic. That's cool, right? That was nostalgic, cool 2000s. But if y'all content in your podcasting, the content in your podcasting seems to be appealing to them. And maybe you guys will change that, but that was how I was looking at it. The content, if Yo, it's like me trying to appeal to people in Saudi Arabia, but I got on a Speedo. Like, no, nigga, you got to dress the part a little bit. So I was like, yo, well, shit, y'all got a senior citizen. It looks like you're trying to be provocative with the dressing. The headband just don't fit this aesthetic. That's it. And Mainos' mental fortitude, which seemingly has been going through inner turmoil, beefing with itself about his age, he took that to say he's attacking us. He's saying we're in a midlife crisis. And I understand that, but I hope if he ever sees this, he'll realize my initial comment had nothing to do with his age.
What I set out to do was, if that's your opinion on us, well, here go my opinion on you, right? And I said a couple funny things, but
see, that's another thing. You know, when you said jar of relish, I took those as jokes. It's fine. I took it as jokes. But that's what you should have taken me saying the headband thing. But you're caught in your own mind about the age thing, bro.
The true gem of what I was saying was this, homie. The things that's hot today were the things that were made hot in our generation. My son is 23 years old, so if he's wearing a pair of Tim's, jeans, a Scully, and an Averex jacket, and I'm wearing a similar thing, am I dressed like him or he dressed like? You understand what I'm saying?
I get it.
So when you talk about the headband and say, hey,
Maino's trying his best to make this a stylistic argument. No, it's a harmless joke. Like, my nigga, I'm not shaped like a jar of relish, but like it's a funny fucking joke. I'm not shaped like a fucking wet bag of laundry, but it's a fucking funny joke. The headband, we get its style, his history when it comes to hip hop, and we do know things come back all the time. Playboy Cardi just brought back jerseys. I get it, but it's a funny fucking joke. That's it. That's it. Like you gotta like, and my disappointment here, because Jim strikes me as a guy that can't take the joke. When I realized Maino couldn't take the joke, I said, oh, that's interesting. But then another way I realized these guys are frauds and fakes, and as much as they claim they're street dudes, they're just fake dudes. Because they could take a joke when it's from the right person. 50 Cent calls them a squatter. Do they come out and say, oh, yo, when you say squatter, let me give you the history on that nigga? None of that. They call themselves the Squatter Boys and made a song. So it seems like some jokes you guys know how to take, depending on if the guy who's telling it is tougher than you. Yeah, that don't seem like you're built for podcasting then. Because whether you get a joke from Trap Lil Ross, Flacco, me, Adam 22, or anybody of the sort, is just a joke. How come you're able to and by the way, I don't think 50 was joking with y'all, because he legit called y'all landlord. Legit called him, trying to buy y'all podcast. So he wasn't joking, but y'all so scared of 50, y'all made it a joke. We're the Squatter Boys now. Yeah, you had no choice. But my joke, which is about a harmless headband, is now turned and trumped up to be like this attack on. No, it's not. And that's where the idea of you being a bully rears his ugly head, because what we see with bullies, we're seeing with you. You ain't keeping the same energy. And if you had kept the same energy with 50, I would have said, oh, all right, this is just a nigga you shouldn't joke with, period. Leave this nigga out the jokes. Leave this nigga out the jokes. But niggas could joke on you if they know they could beat the shit out of you. That's it. And I think 50 realized he ain't scared of not one of y'all on that couch. So he joke on y'all all day. And when he joke on y'all take it as jokes, because y'all, there's no other way to take it when it's 50 Cent. But Akademiks, y'all don't think I'm qualified for it. I know people like y'all.
headbands is made for sweating. You ain't supposed to be wearing that. Well, you wearing a baseball cap, nigga. What are baseball caps made for? Baseball, okay? You're sitting in the house with a so
This would be an amazing point, and I could applaud and give kudos to great points if I was actually making a stop. Listen, my favorite player is Allen Iverson. I came over here in like 2001. like I fell in love with Allen Iverson being the underdog playing on the Sixers. He always rocked an arm sleeve and he rocked a headband. I always had short hair. My mom wouldn't let me get cornrows or braids or whatever, and we weren't Rastafarians, so I didn't have long hair. But I always wanted cornrows like Allen Iverson. It was a style. The nigga was a fashion icon for black culture. Absolutely. I completely get it. Jerseys was a thing. Absolutely. I had a number 3 Iverson jersey. I completely get it. I wasn't making a serious fashion statement, but your insecurity about your age made it seem like you thought I was making a serious fashion critique. It's a fucking joke. I'm already saying, y'all look like y'all trying to cater to the YNs. Well, just let you know, man, the YNs ain't wearing them headbands, bro. They wearing shiesties. That's the joke. Yo, y'all making content. Y'all older than them, but y'all making content like y'all just the oldest YN. Y'all senior citizens. I bet. The only thing I'm going to tell y'all, I'm going to give y'all some advice, and it was like an introductory thing because I know y'all were new to the podcast. Yo, I'm just giving y'all advice. Yo, the aesthetic not matching. The YNs, they wear shiesties. You wearing a headband. That ain't how it go down. You got to wear a shiesty then. It's a joke. It's a joke.
This is hip-hop. None of the things that we wear in fashion,
taking it so serious?
we're not wearing it for that particular thing. We wear gloves. We wear all kinds of stuff. We wearing field boots. We wearing construction boots. We wearing all kinds of things. And we wearing it to sport it. It's fashion. You see what I'm saying? But
Somebody said, by the way, Iverson still dresses like that. Why no smoke from it? Brother, whoever you are, you could exit the stream. Are you that dumb? I just explained it. It's not even about how they dress. I said it feels like the content y'all are trying to create, y'all are embodying, y'all were just bodega boys or lobby boys, whatever it was. Y'all are trying to embody the YN by y'all actions. Y'all are trying to embody a young crash out by y'all bravado and even the music y'all were making before that failed and y'all came to potting. I critique them because it looks like they're trying to appeal to the YNs and they have a style that is more nostalgic. So that's what I was saying. I get why Jim Jones is wearing the skin-tight skinny jeans, the size zeros. I get it because the YNs, they'll rock a size 0 and blow your fucking head off with a mini ARP. I get it. That was the thing. It's not about because somebody said Allen Iverson still dresses like that. If Allen Iverson was still if he was trying to appeal to the new crowd and still dressing like that back then, I'd be like, hey, AI, what you should do, these new niggas be wearing that. That's what you should probably like assimilate to them if you're trying to appeal to them. That's it. And then it was a fucking joke. Like, chat, tell me, was it that bad of a joke? Because the more I got to explain to a bunch of 50-year-old men that my joke was a joke, it makes me feel, they say if a joke needs to be explained, it's a bad joke. I don't even think it was a bad joke. I thought it was a funny joke. I just think that this guy is just insecure about his height, his age.
when you start to put a age limit on these things, I find that to be, especially with a dude that's not that young.
Age limit. See? Goes back to the age.
In life, my brother, you're going to be what? You're going to be older longer than you're going to be younger.
Yeah.
You're going to be an older man longer than you're going to be a younger man.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. If you live long enough.
Hopefully.
And I think it's a...
Yo, this age shit bothers this nigga, man.
It's a blessing.
Yeah.
To be able to be...
He's preaching to the choir. Didn't I tell y'all, I think I'm at big bro status, but I want to be called Unc. Why? Unc could make a lot of jokes that would be seemingly improper, but that one uncle that say inappropriate shit, borderline inappropriate shit, but you let him go because that's Unc. That's Unc. That's Unc. Nigga, I want to get the pass of being an Unc. Nothing on this podcast, Mike, here, requires me to be a young guy. As long as I'm, I already have an audience. So as long as I'm giving, quality information, I'm keeping you guys up to the speed. Who gives a fuck?
In this time, I wake up every day and I'm blessed, bro, just to be here, going through what I've been through. And I think that he missed the opportunity to catch what I was saying when I talked about the fact that all these things that we wearing is things that were made popular in our era. Jordans, these kids is wearing Jordans right now to this day. And they was made hot before they was even born.
In the 80s.
There we go. So what
Yeah.
we're talking about. So we get to a certain age, we not supposed to still wear the things that we're comfortable wearing, especially in the culture that we're in. What are we supposed to be wearing? Now, if niggas' pants was sagging and the ass was out, that's a totally different story. But ain't nobody doing that.
We all used to do that, though.
Right. But that's but a grown man ain't
Right.
a grown man ain't
We all
really
used
got
to
no
do that.
business with his ass hanging out and seeing the top of his drawers and all that. That's
You know what's so funny? So before Maino went into the other stuff that were, clearly, I think a conversation ender, right? Like when you accuse somebody of being some of the most vile things that are criminal. These are criminal things in nature. I don't think you should ever want to speak to that person again. So I think that window is closed permanently. But the misunderstanding he has so far in 7 minutes into this video, where he potentially thinks this is my opportunity to school academics about fashion. And I could tell him about what I perceive as an age divide that I think he's pushing, even though I think he fabricated that mentally. We could have had a good conversation, a good sit down, face to face. That would have been, I think it would be a great sit down. And I would have clarified certain stuff, and we could, get into a lot of things. But it obviously didn't get there. And again, I hate to call myself Axtradamus, but a lot of times I'm good at saying something that comes to fruition. I want y'all to remember this and watch these words. I believe that this is not the end of us hearing and seeing the ramifications of these guys feeling a bit insecure about their age. You'll see if I'm right in due time.
understandable. But when you start
Although you
making
still
mention,
see Soldier Boy doing that these days, But
when
Soldier
you-
Boy is kind of
I
a
get it.
anomaly.
But when you start making mention to what men are wearing without even really having a full understanding of what you're talking about, that in itself is dangerous. And I also believe that it also causes division between young nigga and old nigga, so to speak.
What? Me making a headband joke causes division? Yo, Maino, it's cool, bro. Like, you're at a cool place in life. You about to get, like, when you get to a certain age, they give you the senior citizen discount. Like, when you go to, like, the store, they'd be like, yo, I'm a senior citizen. And they check your age and be like, all right, good. You get, like, 20% off. That's cool. That's dope. Like, why is these guys, like, yo, he keeps talking about division. Like, no. Bro, yo, in reality, and I wonder why Maino thinks that. Because let's think about, I'm one of the younger people in my space. I don't want to say I'm young, but I'm one of the younger people who are at, in maybe this elite club of media personalities, right? I would say this. And by the way, I'm not that young anymore. Like, stop it. Like, I don't think I'm 20. But here's the thing. How come when it comes to Cam and Mace, they don't feel that about me? When it comes to Gilly and Wallow, they don't feel like I'm looking at them like some old niggas. When it comes to Joe, he doesn't feel like that's my demeanor. How come it's only these guys who think I'm trying to make them seem old? You know why? It's because they're cosplaying as YNs. That's it. And they know. Oftentimes I get in trouble because I'm the voice that's saying, I'm the voice that says something that's similar to what they've seen online that pisses them off. If you've seen that one comment that you fucking hate, Akademiks is probably going to be real enough to probably have a discussion and kind of mention in or around about what that comment said. And you're going to get pissed off and you're going to make me the spitting image of what you're mad about. Yo, Vlad told me, and by the way, shout out to Vlad, he's doing the thing, but Vlad told me, go back to off the record. Vlad told me, Ak, I'm about to turn 50. He told me this last year or the year before. He said, Ak, I'm about to turn 50. I'm contemplating retiring. And I said, Vlad, no, don't retire. I said, do you still love this shit? He said, I still do love it. I said, keep fucking going. I said, you should be doing this shit to 70. So why is this? It's only a guy he's having an identity crisis. It's not me. How is he the only one thinking that when I'm speaking to him or speaking about him, or my demeanor to him, or if I ask him, hey, why are you here? Or like, oh shit, you here? He feels I'm directly referring to his age. Why? He's the only one. I see all my peers. None of them feel like I'm calling them old. Not one. But the guys who seems to be the tough guys who seem to be trying to be senior citizens.
Speak, because what do it send? It send a message to a young nigga and say, oh, these old niggas, they don't know how to give. They want to dress like young niggas. No, nigga. It's not young and old. It's either cool or lame. It's either you.
And this is where Mainos tries to do the David Blaine magic trick, except he's the guy who tries to, watch me make this disappear, and you can clearly see it at the back of his hand. It's sticking out. And you're like, you didn't make it disappear. Just put it on the other side of your hand. He's trying to make it like, yo, Ak, you're making it young and old. No, I'm not. Your mentality and insecurity is making it about age and young and old. So now he's trying to do the magic trick. Oh, it's about cool and not cool. And I'm cool. I'm the 50-year-old cool guy that does these things. You're never cool, Ak. And they actually think these are things that, like, I'm like, oh my God, Mainos said I'm not cool. All right.
You get it or you don't. That's it.
I mean, look, I still dress fresh, right? You still see me in furs. You see me in designer. You see me in Richard Milles and Rolexes and Audemars.
Does that mean you dressing like a YN?
If anybody watches video, I hope you see the themes that keep coming up. If they weren't cool with Vlad, you got to read the comments. I fuck with you. You got to read the comments, just like I read the comments. They say about me, Ak make every designer shit look lame. They don't like me. There's a bunch of people who think I'm lame. Whatever, cool. Like the thing is, I'm so like I make self-deprecating jokes. I don't care. I'm telling you, if I did care, I'd have been killed myself, 100%, bro. I had to become so numb to certain shit. Like a fat joke just can't affect me. I think I'm one of the most talked about, disliked. I would have definitely just offed myself like years ago. That's the reality to things. So like those type of things I'm cool with. But I read comments and I see people say like, yo, damn, man, I'll put on a Mary. Nigga, I put a Mary on and 100,000 jewelry. Be like, man, I could make some real expensive shit look lame. I don't care. If I felt good wearing it, I wore it. If I thought I looked nice, I posted a picture. I don't care. I'm not going to mentally let it fuck with me. I don't care about dressing that much. You get what I'm saying? Maino does. Maino does. And to Vlad's point, Vlad, you put that shit on. I see the comments be like, oh, man, here Vlad go with this Balenciaga, or not Balenciaga, whatever you wear, Burberry or whatever. Yo, fuck what they saying. And you got to be self-deprecating. This is what this podcast game is going to do for these, 50-year-old gangsters. It's going to make y'all realize that, yeah, maybe dudes in the streets couldn't say this shit to you, but you're online and you're at the mercy of your comments. And your comments just don't care that you can back out a gun or flash a gun on a nigga. Nobody cares. They're going to make jokes on you and you can't slap the computer. You can't do it. So you're going to have to toughen up. Toughen up, Cookie. And here's the thing. I know he's being selective because everything they say about me in the comments, when I put on designer or whatever expensive shit, they say about Vlad. But he won't look at Vlad. If he was calling it fair, he'd be like, Vlad, nah, you look lame too. He won't say that. You know why? Vlad is validating him and agreeing with him and validating his age argument. That, no, it's not because you're old. It's not because you're old. The age thing is bothering Maino. Maino, Maino, you should be at the doctor. Listen, there's going to be a point. You know how much liquor I drink? When it's my time to have to go to the doctor all the time, shit, I hope my audience will be able to understand. Hey, chat, I can't stream today at 3. I got a doctor's appointment. It is what it is. We're all aging. This body is like a really intricate machine that God has given us that, yes, when younger, it works perfectly and it's operating optimally, but later on, it needs a little bit tune up. It's fine. I'm not shitting on you, brother, but you seem insecure about it. You seem insecure. So you're not going to keep the same energy with Vlad because Vlad is not playing upon the fact that you're old. Actually, Vlad is your age. If I age, if I'm on some, oh, you just old as fuck, how come when Vlad tells me he's about to retire at 50, I tell Vlad, no, you better not retire. You can keep it going. Why do I tell people I want to keep doing this since I'm 70? Everybody who's in denial of age, even Drake, and I fuck with Drake, I love Drake. But Drake, remember Drake was used to rapping about, I'm done at 35? You ever heard me say, oh, yo, the game, yo, like you 35 and still rapping? That's one of his famous lyrics. Wayne had lyrics about, oh, I won't be rapping after a certain age. I'm telling you, I'm nigga, shit. Like the story of how it, I don't want to speak certain shit into existence, but I'm on the mic forever. And I'll make it relatable to what we're going through, even if we got to reminisce. It is what it is. This guy is insecure. And if y'all fall for this, like, rabbit under the hat, like this poor magic trick he's trying to do to say that I'm creating a divide. No, I'm not creating a divide. I'm the person who points out all my idols in what I do who are older. Wendy Williams, the GOAT. I called her the godmother of all this shit. Charlemagne, who's also like, I don't know, is it 50? Who cares? But that's one of the GOATs. Star. All of these guys are older. When I'm speaking about usually people that came before, I speak about them with reverence and I speak about them with respect. I'm not the ones that say, oh, they old washed up. The thing is, they come from rap. And most gangster rappers, they realize gangster rap men have the smallest window of success of all time. I guarantee Meek Mill would agree with this stance. You know why? Meek Mill is a guy who still makes spinning music, but he's in his 30s. No disrespect to him. The guys whose music are succeeding off making spinning music are in their 20s. I would point that out to say, hey, you have to grow a bit. There's nothing wrong with you doing what you're doing, but people do look at certain things as why an activity. Their mortality is their biggest enemy. I'm learning how to deal with these guys, and I really didn't even want to get into it with them, but I now know how. You remember I told you my strategy when I'm going at anybody is to figure out what bothers them the most. If you can't tell that it's me talking about his age, the kryptonite for Mainos might be like, Mainos, how old are you? And if he has to tell you he's 50 years old, he knows that there's a part of his soul that's dying because he really wants to be 25 based on how he's acting. That's a problem. Not a problem that he wants to, quote unquote, be forever young. That's cool. But that bothers you. You launch into an entire beef and then start accusing me of very heinous things because you feel like I made you feel old.
Am I the oldest YW?
A white what?
YW.
YW. You stupid.
Am I the oldest? Yo, Jim has the.
Now, there's another, and you see with dudes like this, and this is why they can't fuck with me on this microphone, because I mentally break down who and what you are. You see, Mainos came into this rap game around the age I am now. That was 17 years ago. About 17 years ago. And that's when Mainos had his first and only shot at partial success with a semi-local hit song. It was called High Hater. I guarantee, you see, back then in music, being in your close to mid or mid 30s was old. It was considered old. So Maino's been battling that from the inception of his career. It's 17 years later. Music has failed for him, and he's now came to the podcast land. So he's ultra sensitive to anyone who feels like they're tapping at that it's like the funny bone of hurt. Age. Remember, his first hit song came then, 35, 34. He's now 50. For the people who didn't know Titty Boy, and this is why 2 Chainz is dope. For the people who didn't know Titty Boy, some people said, well, yo, yeah, this is his first hit, but ain't he like 35, 38? Or whatever it was. Yeah, he was. You never saw him come out and lash out like, yo, why y'all don't think I'm a YN? Why y'all try to make me the old guy? Why y'all don't want to put me in with the new guys? Yo, nah, this ain't fair. Don't separate me from the young niggas. He never did that. He just kept it player. Shit. Yeah, I went from Titty Boy to 2 Chainz. What up? Who gives a fuck? Not these guys.
Yeah, you know, the title on the other side, but am I the old SYW?
You might be, but I don't believe only in our culture do we get, shamed for, the things that we do for still having a career, for still exercising your.
Cause y'all now acknowledge, and I hope if you watch this whole reaction video, no matter where you watch it at, could we now acknowledge that Maino has a real problem with aging? Because I've been on this microphone say I want to do this till I'm 70. So I'm acknowledging that I want to age and grow and get old as fuck on this microphone. Why is he saying only in hip hop people shame you for getting older while you do what you do? Nigga, I know it's going to happen to me. So he's not talking to me. He's talking to his insecurities.
Career, but still exercising your ability or your right to be an artist, for dressing. Only in our culture this happens.
I mean, look, he said that y'all went from the lobby boys to the pod boys.
See, and this is.
But that's not really an insult.
That's not in it.
Yeah.
I didn't take it.
When I heard that, I'm like, well, yeah, that's what they're doing.
I didn't take that as an insult.
Right.
I took that as him switching the goalposts, because nobody was talking about partying and all this other shit. We talking about what you talking about, us being, older guys and the way we dress, where I feel like you don't even have the right to say that. But guess what? Anybody can say anything. So here's what I'm saying. You talking about it being your block and all that is cool. I don't give a fuck about your block, because guess what? I'm not doing what you do.
Yes, you are. I hate when podcasters come. Hey, there's no real nigga gossiping. I want to let all y'all know this. If you ever start talking about, by the way, I've always agreed with Dame Dash, because I do think I'm a chatty patty. I don't give 2 fucks. If you ever get on, y'all do topics. If you do topics, you do exactly what I do. I don't care if you do the real nigga approach. There's no real nigga approach to doing what I'm doing. You're talking about it, even if you're related to yourself. All right, let's not talk about Cardi B. Let's talk about I had a problem with my baby mama. I know one of them. You're still gossiping, nigga. Okay? You're gossiping. Let's not try to, because they're like, what do you mean you're not doing what I'm doing? What am I doing that you're not doing? We're broadcasting. We're doing the same thing.
You talking about it being your block and all that is cool. I don't give a fuck about your block, because guess what? I'm not doing what you do. I'm not sitting here throwing rocks and hiding my hands. I don't need 7 securities to come out to make me feel good. I'm not out here, extra angry with women. And you understand? I don't want to be you. It ain't nothing.
Maino, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'll give you this tidbit. And you tell me why they thought this. I'll tell you this. Before I went to Rod Wave concert in Brooklyn, the hip hop police called me asking about you. That's facts. I said I don't have a problem with Maino. I don't know, whatever. They said I don't even know how they knew I was gonna go to the concert. I said, yeah, I'm gonna go there. I said, just to clarify, I got no problems with him, but I always move on defense. So, I've already told Rod Wave's team I'm moving a certain way, and yeah, Maino, you ain't gonna ever shame me about my security. You feel me? My security was with me. We had the whole entree. They were eating hot wings and drinking Red Bull. It was good. They're like, all right, it was a calm night. So you can never shame me about that. I'm not a tough guy. But I would say they've never ever called me, and I've seen Ebro at the Barclays. They've never ever called me and said, yo, should we be worried about you running to Ebro? Yeah, because Ebro doesn't present himself to be a violent person. So it goes back to exactly what you said, stupid. Like, you niggas is acting like y'all are some tough street dudes. This is why hip hop police is calling me about y'all when y'all start talking to me. It is what it is. You get what I'm saying? Like, y'all are, again, the way how y'all talk is a reason. And by the way, I'm everybody knows I never go out with any intentions of having any issues. I don't really even have any issues. But it's because of your past. It's because of your reputation. It's because what they think your ass is going to do. Nobody think I'm about to go see you and try to do something to you. They're wondering, based on the shit you're saying and your fucking history in New York City, what might happen. Fortunately, nothing happened. Right? But yeah, I go see the artists I like. Shit, everybody know Rod Wave, my man, Young Boy, my man. I'm show up, Brooklyn or not. But anyway, obviously I'm not saying that to invite problems, but I'm saying that to him that they like to they act like their reputation. I don't live in New York. When you have hip hop police calling me, and I live in Jersey, and they're like, yo, is everything good? You sure?
So, NBA Youngboy has 12 kids, and he has 2 more on the way. I ain't gonna lie, gang. YB, he's making his own team. You feel me? 12 kids, probably like 10 BMs, 11 BMs. Like, that's what he's supposed to do. Like, Malu Trevejo said that she was pregnant at one point. Another girl said that she was pregnant. Like, YB is disciplining a baby and all these women, bro. And I will never forget the interview. He said that he doesn't really care about being a father. He just likes to, you feel me? Yeah. But let me know how you guys feel about all of this. Do you think NBA Youngboy will pass 20 kids by the end of 2025? Or will he do it in 2026? Because we know he's about to have like 4 or 5 kids a year minimum. So we will see.